Alright, this is kind of interesting. I mean, this is not exactly a bad chapter, although it doesn't really go anywhere. It does create a whole lot of questions. Once again, a little bit that way. What kind of devil fruit is that? Is this meant to say that is that fox meant to have eaten a devil fruit that allows him to change into a man, or have the fox all this time actually been a man? Because if you think about it, the Inu Inu no Mi model kitsune, it already exists, so it cannot be like that. And I highly doubt this is magic. I mean, if it is magic, then it's fine, but what kind of devil fruit is this? I mean, it also makes sense if it is a human that ate a devil fruit of a fox. Or some sort of fox fruit, because that will explain why he would have lived so long. Still though, this begs questions, and if there's one thing I do not like, it's questions, because it takes forever for them to be answered. Regardless, despite on that, this is not a bad chapter by any means. The Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Reviewer, chapter 953 of One Piece. First of all, we saw the time when Hiyori left Kawamatsu because she felt so bad. And of course, Kawamatsu walked all over the Wano country trying to find her, which was quite strange. He didn't find her, which means that somewhere along this line, she must have been taken care of by Kiyoshiro, perhaps immediately. And Zoro chases Gyukimaru to a place where Kawamatsu is actually supposed to go, because it's revealed that the reason why Kawamatsu he's here is not because he could sense Hiyori being here. No, it is actually because he has a mission here. When Lady Hiyori disappeared from Kawamatsu's side, Kawamatsu was of course in despair and was actually very close in committing seppuku, because so he decided that he wanted to commit seppuku in a terrifying place. I mean, not a terrifying place, but in a place worthy of samurai if nothing could be saved. It turns out that Hakumai is a large northern expand of Ringo that was ruled once by the renowned Shimotsuku family. But as we all know, the daimyos all fell fighting Kaido. One of those daimyos was Shimotsuki Ushimaru, who always had a fox by his side. This actually sounds a little bit like what was his name? Hachiko? The loyal dog that always waited for his master to come back. I mean, granted, it's not exactly like that, but almost. And then, well, Kawamatsu keeps on explaining. He got to this place where it's revealed that it's actually a graveyard known as the Eternal Graves. The reason being that samurais are bested upon renowned swords, and they live and die with them. And so the graves becomes their, gravestones. And many famous blades are here, so it's obvious that the Beast Pirates would have wanted that, but they were all repelled by none other than Unimaru, who actually was the fox that served the daimyo. Kawamatsu got to the fox's aid and treated his wounds, until Unimaru got angry for Kawamatsu for beginning to dig up all the swords. The reason for that was not that Kawamatsu wanted to rob them. No, he knew that the rebellion needed famous weapons and good weapons if they wanted to fight against Kaido. He believed Lady Toki's prophecy and knew that they would return in 13 years. He also knew this was disrespectful, and he knew that it would be troublesome. But even as Unimaru began to bite his arm, he tells us that this place is still a battlefield, and these swords have not yet been are not meant to sleep yet. They are meant to serve and fight and bring an end to this long-standing conflict. And saying that if this is the only thing I can do. Moved by Kawamatsu's determination, Unimaru lets go of the hand and even helps him digs up the swords, which they hid inside the bridge. Afterwards, Kawamatsu became the defender of the bridge to protect all weapons. And what was the name he called himself? Because he obviously couldn't call himself Kawamatsu. What was the name he called himself? None other than Gyukimaru. The plot thickens. Because then it's revealed exactly how Kawamatsu was captured. No, he wasn't captured because, well, he wanted to find Lady Hiyori. Nor was he captured of the fact that one of the shogun's men found him. No, he was simply captured because the kids thought he was the phantom thief or whatever and squealed on him when he was in the capital. And very likely the samurais recognized him then and then threw him inside the prison. Typical Oda fashion, a renowned, very powerful fighter gets a humiliating capture by comedy. It only makes sense. Because then it's revealed that although Zoro do not find Gyukimaru, the monk, it is actually revealed that Gyukimaru is Onimaru. And this creates a very deep question. Most of it all, it doesn't exactly explain if... It's obvious now where the monk Gyukimaru got his name. He got it from Kawamatsu when he wanted to protect the weapons. But it doesn't explain on how a fox can turn into a human. Or maybe it's, reverse. Maybe Gyukimaru, Onimaru, whatever, always was a human, but he ate an Inu no Mi model fox or something like that, and then served the daimyo's side always as a fox, as his loyal guard or whatever. Although that doesn't explain why he would keep on being in a fox form and defend these swords when he wanted to. So is it the opposite? Is it a fox that somehow ate devil fruit? I mean, that can't be happening too, because there already is a Hito no Mi model Daibatsu and normal human. Or are you telling me there's another Hito no Mi? In that case, what would that be? Hito no Mi model Dharma? Is that it? I mean, Gyukimaru does look a little bit like a Dharma doll. So is it possible that Onimaru ate Hito no Mi and he really is a fox? Who knows? We won't get any answers anytime soon, I have a feeling. Regardless, Kawamatsu contacts Kinemon, tells them that they now have weapons to support the rebellion, and also sees that there's a lot more powerful weapons. Finally, Hiyori catches up to Zoro and asks him, of course, not to take the Shusu now that she knows that it's the Shusi. Of course, Zoro gets a little bit upset by that. However, Hiyori promises him another famous sword in exchange for the Shusu. That sword's name is Enma, the one blade that have wounded Kaido. Alright, this chapter was full of many things. I know not many things happened, but it did still create an interesting situation. And also, it appears we're not going on a break next week. That's surprising. I thought for sure we were gonna go on a break. Or did the holiday technically count as a break? Nah, it couldn't. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's revealed that Onimaru or whatever, and Gyukimaru are one and the same. But it's not revealed yet if it's a human who ate a fox fruit or if it's a fox who ate a human fruit. It must be a devil fruit because it always lies like that. Given to the fact that the fox have a flaming, tail, and all of the beasts of Wano, I mean at least the horses or chickens or stuff like that also has that. I'm actually going more to the feeling that maybe the fox ate a devil fruit. But it doesn't explain on what kind of devil fruit, because again, a human fruit already exists, and that was eaten by Chopper. And then there is also a Daibutsu fruit, which was eaten by Sengoku. So if this is a human fruit, what kind of type is it? A Dharma? Or is it something else? Or maybe it's not a human fruit at all. Maybe it's something more. I mean, it doesn't explain on why the fox can talk. Or even resonate. But I have a feeling it's not going to be as complicated as I make it sound to be. What makes the chapter also the most interesting is not only Kawamatsu's flashback, but it's also the fact what Hiyori said. That there is a blade that have wounded Kaido. And what makes that interesting is that I actually once guessed to a lot of people that maybe Oden is the one who have wounded Kaido. And now it actually sounds like that is true. Because the reason why I always believe that is that Kaido has a scar on his body. He is not invulnerable. Granted, however, if you can survive a 10,000 drop from a sky island, then yeah, maybe you are invulnerable, but it doesn't explain on why Kaido has a scar. So I always wondered, who could have possibly given him that scar? Whitebeard? Or maybe Oden? I mean, think about it. Oden was supposedly a very powerful samurai. Wouldn't it have been sweet karma if it turns out that Oden is the one who wounded him? And this seems to imply from Hiyori that that is true. Oden did wound Kaido. Although the way she says it, it seems to suggest that it was the blade that wounded him, not Oden. I mean, granted, Oden had a sword, but what I mean is, the blade is a special blade, and only that one can wound Kaido. If that is true, then I will complain. Come on, you can't make Kaido just lose to one single blade. However, this does create a nice spin on things. Will Zoro even admit to take that, though? I don't think he will. Again, I mean, Momonosuke will obviously be upset, although technically, according to Hiyori, this sword was bestowed upon her by her father, although I have no idea how that makes sense, but let's just go with it. And also is the fact that Shuzu became Zoro's new favorite sword ever since he got it. And also that it's true that Shuzu is a national treasure of Wano, but I do believe that Zoro feels that a blade should never be put to rest. I mean, he has an honor swordsman skill, I know he does, but I believe that Zoro feels like someone who do not use a blade is disrespectful to it. Maybe. Or maybe he just wants Shuzu because he feels like it's his blade. But will Zoro take this Enma? We cannot forget the Kitetsu rank 2, which Luffy took, but I guess then lost. You can give me your thoughts if you have any.